What's up, man? How are you, Kevin? From Chicago? Where are you? Are you in Chicago now? Are you at the Bears facility? Where are you? Literally right now.
Yes, Rich, the call is coming from inside the building. I'm inside Hallis Hall. We're minutes away from Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams, and new offensive coordinator and play caller Thomas Brown addressing the media. So I feel like you guys, this
Wow.
this is the lead-in to hopefully get some more answers. I'm not that optimistic, but we'll be hearing from the three people on everyone's minds this week in Chicago.
So I know the question will be, what can you bring to bear, Thomas Brown? What are you going to do that's different? And I can't imagine it's going to be anything concrete that, the Packers could pick up on. So they're not going to give you anything. But what's your general sense of what the Bears are hoping Thomas Brown brings to this equation, Kevin?
Yeah, I think Thomas Brown needs to create advantageous spots for Caleb Williams and the wide receivers. One of the things that Matt Eberflus talked about all the time in the spring was the emphasis to Caleb Williams is get the ball to your skill. They don't say skill players because they don't have enough time. So it's to get the ball to your skill. And you have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Cole Kmet and Roma Dunze and DeAndre Swift. But those guys aren't getting the football enough, and they're covered, and the route concepts just weren't working. And Caleb Williams was holding on to the ball too long. The protection wasn't there. Everything was a mess. So I feel like for Thomas Brown, it's simplify things and go back to that point of emphasis of Caleb Williams. You have these guys. Get them the ball. I'm going to scheme them open. I'm going to find ways to get these guys, whether it's using motion. Obviously, Thomas Brown worked with Sean McVay, so maybe we'll see some of that flavor in there. And DJ Moore just hasn't been as effective. Do they need to move him around a little bit? They're going to have to find ways to just give Caleb Williams some layups. Just let him get some easy buckets, and that should build his confidence back from where I got to believe it's as low as it's maybe been in his football career as it is right now. Like, that's the goal for Thomas Brown, is get these little victories within games, and hopefully for them it could lead to actual wins on the field.
But Shane Waldron is no dummy. I mean, you know what I mean? So obviously he would have been smart enough to know I got to get the layups for Caleb, and that we have the guys who can make the layups if Caleb can actually get them the ball. So what really wasn't working that you think Thomas Brown can actually change? Is it coaching style? Is it communication style that might actually vibe with the players better, Kevin?
Yeah, well, schematically, Rich, it is puzzling because I mentioned Thomas Brown worked with Sean McVay, so did Shane Waldron. Like, that was one of the big appeals of bringing Waldron in, is they were looking for guys from that coaching tree. And I don't know really what happened in terms, like, when you go back and you watch these games, again, guys aren't getting open. The plays don't really make sense. I think some of it was Caleb Williams is very smart. And he's doing a lot of things at the line that other rookie quarterbacks don't do and can't do. And I feel like they gave him all that liberty to do it, and it was just too much. So you have that going on the Shane Waldron side. I do think you bring up a good point about Thomas Brown, because this is somebody who's got that kind of galvanizing personality, if you will. Like, you hear this. I was reading an article the other day from his time in LA. Matthew Stafford, who played with Thomas Brown in Georgia, said when he comes in the room, he commands the room. And this team needs that right now. Like, you already heard in week 3, they were telling Shane Waldron to coach them harder. So Waldron just wasn't maybe the right personality fit for this building. And the hope is that obviously you got to win games in the field, but this whole offense in the locker room needs somebody that they believe in, that they trust. And I think Thomas Brown at least is going to come in there with a different personality that I feel like they're going to gravitate to.
Kevin Fishbain of The Athletic here, covering the Bears on the Rich Eisen Show. Sylvie, known as Mark Silverman, known as Sylvie of Waddle and Sylvie there in Chicago, a very popular radio show. I've appeared on it a couple times myself. Says that he was hearing some veterans were asking for Caleb to be benched in favor of Tyson Bagent. What's your reporting on that, Kevin?
Yeah, so I haven't heard that, Rich, but here's the thing. Like, there are some frustrated veterans in that locker room, and they're not really masking it. And these are guys, if you look at, again, I'm not saying that these are the people who, went to management with this. I'm not going to dispute Sylvie's report, But like Keenan Allen's here on 1 year. Mercedes Lewis came back for 1 year. DJ Moore just signed a long-term extension to be here, to be part of this. So you could understand that some of those guys are probably frustrated. You could understand that they see Caleb Williams struggling. And one of the things that Tyson Bagent does well is he's accurate. He gets the ball out quick, and he's very accurate. We saw that in his brief time last year. All that aside, Rich, it is a stupid idea to bench Caleb Williams and put in Tyson Bagent. It just that would be, I mean, I know I'm sure you guys have talked about what's going on in Indianapolis, different situations, but Caleb Williams needs confidence. He needs to get better. And he's not going to get better by sitting on the bench and watching Tyson Bagent, who, look, the Bears made a phenomenal find in Bagent. The fact that this conversation reportedly is even coming up speaks to Bagent's abilities, which is great. But Caleb Williams is the number one pick. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, right? Those 3 games, you were there, Rich, in London, that happened. It was you saw it. I was there in person. He made those plays. I just think that the goal for this team right now, and it's going to be hard for some guys, coaches and players, coaches who want to, make it to next year, players who want to win. It's going to be hard for them to have this perspective. But the ultimate goal for this franchise is to, in January, know that they have the guy, to know that no matter who the coach is next year, no matter who the coordinator is next year, they have their guy in Caleb Williams. And they felt like that when they drafted him. They felt like that coming out of London. I think that they still feel that, but the results aren't there. And benching him is not going to get you anywhere closer to that result at the end of the season.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.